A dead man in a neat suit lies on a quiet Australian beach. No identification, no wallet, every clothing label carefully removed. The cause of death is unclear. Months later, a hidden pocket reveals a tiny scrap of paper with 2 Persian words. Tamám Shud, it is finished. This isn't just a strange case. It's a puzzle that has confused investigators and fascinated true crime fans for more than 70 years. Now we're going through the full Somerton Man case. His last morning on the beach, the suitcase at the station, the code in the book, the woman linked by a phone number, and the modern DNA work that might finally give him a name. This is Midnight Evidence, and this is the Somerton Man file. The silent witness on Somerton Beach. It's dawn on December 1st, 1948, at Somerton Beach near Adelaide, South Australia. Locals notice a man slumped against the seawall. At first, he looks like he might be asleep. He's wearing a suit, polished shoes, and a tie. The previous day had been warm, so the extra layers of clothing already seem odd. He isn't wearing a hat, which was still common at the time. When police check him, they confirm he's dead. He looks around 40 to 45 years old and in good health. There are no clear signs of struggle on the sand. No obvious wounds, no blood, no damage to the area around him. The whole scene looks strangely clean and calm. In his pockets, they find a used bus ticket, a train ticket, some cigarettes, a packet of chewing gum, a comb. But there's no wallet, no ID card, and no paper with his name. It feels like someone has tried to remove any link to who he was. This is the start of what will become known as the Tamám Shud case. Autopsy, a whisper of poison, no proof. The autopsy deepens the mystery. The pathologist notes that his spleen is enlarged. His stomach and other organs show congestion and small hemorrhages that could fit certain kinds of poisoning. But no clear trace of poison is found with the tests available in 1948. Some doctors later suggest that a rare or fast-acting poison might not have been detected with the methods of that time. The official wording is cautious, likely poisoning, but not proven. This gap has driven arguments ever since. Was this murder, suicide, or an unusual natural death that only looked like poisoning? The science of the time can't give a solid answer. The clothes, a deliberate erasure. When investigators look more closely at his clothes, they notice something important. The labels have been cut out. You can see where tags were on his jacket and other pieces, but they're gone. It looks like someone removed them on purpose, not by accident. His tie and some stitching on his clothing suggest he might not be local, or at least that his clothes didn't all come from typical Australian shops of that era. About a month after the body is found, staff at Adelaide railway station report an unclaimed brown suitcase left in the cloakroom around the time the man likely arrived in the city. Inside the suitcase, police find clothing matching his size and style. A tie similar to the one he wore, a stencil kit used for marking cargo, a table knife that has been shaped into a sharper tool, grooming items and other personal objects. Some items carry names or initials like T. Keen, but checks don't lead to a missing person who fits the dead man. They now have a body and a suitcase that almost certainly belong together, but still no name. The hidden pocket and Tamám Shud. Months pass, the case cools. Then, in June 1949, a more careful check of his trousers finds something that changes everything. Inside the waistband is a small hidden fob pocket. Tucked inside is a tightly rolled scrap of paper. Unrolled, it shows 2 printed words in Persian script. Tamám Shud, it is finished, or the end. This phrase appears at the end of a well-known book of poetry, the Rubáiyát of Omar Khayyam. Police realize this scrap has been torn from a copy of that book. They start looking for the original. Eventually, a local man comes forward with a copy of the Rubáiyát he found in his unlocked car parked near Somerton Beach. The last page has a section neatly torn out where Tamám Shud would be printed. The tear matches the scrap found in the dead man's pocket. The book holds more. On the back cover, written faintly in pencil, are several lines of what look like random letters, arranged like a code. A telephone number? The mystery just went from unidentified body to something much stranger. The book, the number, and the woman. The phone number leads police to a young nurse living near Somerton Beach. In later reports, she is often called Jessica Thompson or Joe. She tells police she once owned a copy of the Rubáiyát and had given it years earlier to a man she knew, a former soldier. She says she doesn't recognize the dead man from the beach and denies any link to him. Some people present during that interview later say she reacted strongly when she saw the plaster cast of his face, shocked, maybe close to fainting, before saying she didn't know him. Exactly how she reacted is debated, but this moment has fueled suspicion ever since. Meanwhile, code experts and hobby cryptanalysts start looking at the letters written in the back of the book. Many ideas are suggested. Initials of words in a poem, first letters of names or places, notes about horse races or movements, a personal or military code. But no solution has ever been widely accepted. To this day, the code has not been clearly cracked. So far, the case has a dead man with no ID, clothes with the labels removed, an unclaimed suitcase, a hidden pocket with Tamám Shud, a book with a code and a phone number, a nurse who might be connected but denies knowing him, and still no confirmed identity. Main theories: spy, lover, or something else. Over the years, several major theories have developed. Spy theory. Because this happened in the early Cold War years, some think the Somerton Man was a spy. Removed labels, no ID, a possible poisoning, a code in a book. These all fit spy stories. But no intelligence agency has ever stepped forward to confirm this. There is no public record tying him to any spy network. It remains a theory built on patterns, not direct proof. Broken-hearted suicide. Another common idea is that he took his own life after a failed relationship. This theory often links him emotionally to the nurse whose number was in the book. Maybe he traveled to see her, was rejected, and then used a poison that couldn't be detected at the time. The Rubáiyát, with its themes of fate and endings, fits that picture. But again, there's no note, no confirmed poison, and no clear proof of what kind of relationship, if any, actually existed. Local man in personal crisis. A more cautious theory says he might have been a local or regional man with serious personal or medical problems. He could have died from natural causes or self-administered poison, and details like the labels in the note might be less organized than they seem. This view says the case has been made more dramatic than it truly is, but it still wrestles with details like the hidden Tamám Shud scrap and the code in the book, which are hard to explain away as simple coincidence. For a long time, all of these ideas were just speculation. Nobody knew his name. Then DNA analysis became possible. Modern DNA work, a name from the past. For more than 70 years, the Somerton Man had no confirmed identity. Recently, that may have changed. Researchers used hair from the plaster death mask to extract DNA. In 2022, Professor Derek Abbott and genealogist Colleen Fitzpatrick announced that their work points strongly to one man, Carl Charles Webb. According to their research, Webb was an electrical engineer and instrument maker from Melbourne, born in 1905. He had separated from his wife, Dorothy, and had family in Australia. Their genealogical work matched his DNA to living relatives. This identification has not yet been formally confirmed in court by the South Australian authorities, but it is currently the leading theory. If true, then the Somerton Man wasn't a foreign agent. He was an Australian with personal problems that may have brought him to Adelaide. But even with a possible name, key questions remain. Why did he have Tamám Shud hidden in his pocket? What does the code actually mean, if anything? How close was his relationship to the nurse whose number was in the book? And what exactly caused his death on that beach? The mystery shifts from who is he to what happened to him and why. What still doesn't add up? Even with a likely identity, the case does not feel settled. The careful removal of clothing labels, the unclaimed suitcase at the station, the hidden fob pocket with "it is finished," the code that still has no agreed solution, the nervous reaction and limited answers from the nurse. Some parts of the story have probably grown larger over time in retellings. Other parts, like the hidden note and the book match, are as strange as they sound. That is why, decades later, people are still trying to solve the Somerton Man. So what's your theory? Was the Somerton Man a spy, a desperate lover, a man who chose his own end? Or someone whose life fell apart in a way we still don't fully understand? What do you think really happened on that beach in 1948? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps me keep putting time into researching these cases and bringing you more real stories. Thank you for watching.